What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Misplayed Magic, the only Magic the Gathering YouTube channel doing giveaways based on how I draft. You'll see up on the screen here, if I do horribly, if I get 0 wins, I'm giving away a collector booster pack to one of you. All the way down to 7 wins, I'll be giving away a draft. All you have to do is like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below on how you think I did. We are going to be spinning the challenge wheel today to make things a little bit more challenging for ourselves as we head into this draft. Alright, so for today's challenge, we are going back to the well and doing Mono Madness again. Last time we had a really cool deck with a Jumbo Cactuar and a bunch of really fun green cards. Today we're going to try something different that's not green. We'll go ahead and jump into it, and remember, if this goes horribly, I'm giving away a collector booster pack. So hopefully I can get a couple wins here with a monocolored deck. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Okay, hopping into this first pack, hopefully we have a good monocolored rare, and we do. I think mono red is certainly on the table with a Sifar Almasi, a fantastic card here that could potentially put us into a mono red deck. Whenever a creature we control attacks alone, it gets double strike until end of turn. And then if Sifar does combat damage, we get to cast an instant or sorcery with mana value 3 or less from our graveyard without paying for it. So very excited to see that here. Other considerations, mono white could definitely be a thing with the crystal fragments and an Aerith rescue mission. But I think the power in the Sifar Almasi is definitely worth us taking it here. So we are scooping that up as our first pick in this draft. Moving on into our second pick, and we could take a Blazing Bomb, which does not feel fantastic. If we were drafting normally, I'd probably take a Giat as a pretty good 2-drop in the red-white equipment deck. I'm actually going to take a Moogle's Valor here, and the potential that we go for a white deck and just go super wide and try and win that way. There's good white removal as well. So we're going to pick up a Moogle's Valor, which is weird because it's not red, but I don't think Blazing Bomb is good enough to warrant us taking it. So we're going to take a Moogle's Valor here and maybe go in the white direction. Hopping on into our third pick, there is not a lot for us. A lot of gold cards. 4 gold cards at the top. Don't really care for the Chocobo Racetrack all that much. So it's either a Dwarven Castle Guard or a Light of Judgment. I'm going to go with the Light of Judgment. I think our red card is better than our white card to start here. So hopefully mono red can become a thing and will free up for us, but it's not looking like it. So we could take a Blazing Bomb here as a totally fine red card, or we could take a Galacat, both of which don't feel great. I'm going to take a Blazing Bomb here, although it does not feel fantastic. Moving on to our 5th pick, we can take a Mysidian Elder or another Blazing Bomb. We could also take a Lunatic Pandora, which we'd probably play in any deck. I'm going to go with the Mysidian Elder here. I think there's a chance that we go for a red spell deck. Hopping on into our 6th pick, and there are no mono red cards, so I'm going to maybe start looking to white. There's a Snowvilliers, a Galacat, and a Cloudbound Moogle here. I'm going to take the Snowvilliers. I think it's a really solid 3-drop, and if we end up going super wide, I think it is decent. Moving on to our 7th pick, I'm going to take a Summon Chocomog. Really good if we end up going wide here. Maybe white is going to be a little bit more open than red will be for us. Yeah, looks like it. So we're going to take a White Mage's Staff here as a really solid 2-drop, both artifacts and creature. And looks like we are going to be doing the go wide thing in white. Now, interesting. Do we want a Coeurl or do we want an Iron Giant? Interesting. I think I'm going to take an Iron Giant just because I think the Coeurl is replaceable. An Iron Giant we would play in either deck. I will say it does look like red is really not open in this draft as much as we want it to be with our Sifar Almasi. Moving into this next pack, I guess we'll take an Instant Ramen if we really want some artifact payoffs or some life gain. This card can be okay for us. Moving into this next pack, I don't love anything here. I guess we don't really want a world map ever. I guess we'll take a Sage's Newlist in the off chance that mono blue becomes a thing. Here we'll take a Magic Pot, but it is not great. Lunatic Pandora is actually totally fine. I think that's a playable card. It's okay. It's not great, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Here we'll take a Cloudbound Moogle as a decent enough top end for us. Moving on into this next pack, I do think. So, mono red, red crystal could be interesting, but red was getting so caught off in that pack, and I really want to read the signals from the first pack. So we're going to take an Adelbert Steiner here, a really, really solid 2-drop for us. If we have a bunch of equipments, it can be super strong. Aerith Rescue Mission is also decent. Another Iron Giant would be something. We're going to go with the Adelbert Steiner here as a 2-drop. Moving on into our second pick. So I think we want to prioritize an Ambrosia Whiteheart over a Slash of Light. I just like it a little bit more. Although Slash of Light is going to be a really good removal spell because we're going to have so many creatures. But I'm going to prioritize 2s. We're going to take an Ambrosia Whiteheart here. Moving on into this next pack, I do think we want a Magitech Infantry, and we'll take as many of these as we can get. Really a premium 1-drop if we want to go for an aggressively slanted, wide white deck here. I will say Thunder Magic is pretty solid, but I think we're kind of putting our foot in the ground that we are going to be playing a white deck here. Hopping on into this next pack, we could have had double Esper Origins, which would have been interesting. Now we'll take a Gallicat. I think this card is super passable as a flyer, and if we have equipment, it's actually going to be somewhat decent for us. Hopping on to our 5th pick, we could take a UFO, but we're not going to have much towns, so I don't really want that here. I think we probably just take another Cloudbound Moogle. Is it good? No. But is it a white card that we can play? Yes. Hopping on into this next pack, I think we're pretty excited to see a Grahatia as a decent enough 5-drop. I don't think we want a Warrior Sword. I don't think we're going to be dipping back into red at all. And Grahatia is a decent enough top end of our curve. Will help us draw some cards with the Moogle's Valor. Wow, so white is pretty open. I think here, Stillskin Moogle Merchant is interesting, but I think the Auracite is really, really premium removal. We don't have anything in our 4-drop slot yet, and that's the exact kind of card we want. Now, You're Not Alone wheeling is pretty good for us too. I think this card can help us surprise our opponent for lethal. So very excited to pick up a You're Not Alone here. Now, we'll take an Aerith Rescue Mission. I like that card quite a bit. We really need the uncommon that when we go wide, we can give all of our creatures +2/+0. Here we'll take a Lunatic Pandora is a totally fine card. So much so that we'll take another one. I will say 3. We are kind of at our limit there. Here we'll take an Adventurers In. I actually don't mind playing that card and getting some life along with the other white planes we're going to be playing. Moving on into this last pack, there is a Terra Magical Adept, which is really interesting. I think it's good if you have a bunch of sagas, of which we have none. There's only one white card in this pack, and it is a Quirrell, which is bad. That's tough. We'll take the Quirrell. It can be situationally decent. Wow, there is a Kefka Court Mage. Why do I do these challenges? This card is so good. So good. I will say too, the Emmett Silk Unsundered is also great, but we're gonna stay the course here in our mono white deck, and instead of picking the 2 really good mythics in this pack, we're gonna take a Magitech Infantry. Sure, why not? I will say it's pretty okay in our deck. I think we're fine having that. Moving into this next pack, we're pretty excited to see a Slash of Light as a good removal spell, and it's the only card we actually can take and play into this deck, and we are inching closer to that playable card amount. So really want to have, 23 cards that we feel good about here. Maybe 24, honestly. Here we are more than happy taking another Magitech Infantry. I think we would take a couple of those, so very excited to see that here. Those also play nicely with the Gallicat, so if we see another Gallicat, we might take that as well. Moving on into this next pack. Interesting choice here. Do we want a Fate of the Suncrest, a Eden Seat of Sanctum, or another Magitech Infantry? I think the way we're going to win this game is just by going wide. And we do have a Slash of Light and an Auracite. So I'm going to go with another Magitech Infantry. I think 4 is probably the upper limit of how many we want to play. Moving on to this next pick. Wow, so we could take a Zach Fair, a Weapons Vendor, or a You're Not Alone. I'm going to take the Combat Trick. I think that's going to be how we're going to try and put away games, just having a ton of creatures out there. Wow, taking another white Auracite late here as our 7th pick is fantastic. We'll take another You're Not Alone, and we might just be playing a super hyper-aggressive white deck here. Not interested in another Instant Ramen. Cloudbound Moogle's fine. I don't really think we're going to be playing 3 of those. That feels a little bit much, but I don't know. If we need to put away damage, a 2/3 with flying is not the worst thing in the world. Here we'll take a Noctis, but we're not going to be playing it in our deck. We're going to take Pandora. We've taken too many of those already. And a Giat, we cannot take it. We've had a pretty sick-looking red-white equipment deck had we been able to draft like a normal person. But today, we are doing the crazy mono-white draft. All right, so here is the deck we are rocking with today. It looks super chaotic. We've got 3 You're Not Alones, 4 Magitech Infantries, a ton of early stuff. Hopefully we can run over an opponent or two. And if not, this deck, it might struggle. I also love that we have the Iron Giant in there, because why not? Why not? We're going to jump into it. Hopefully we can get a win or two. And remember, if I fail, if I do horribly, I'm giving away a collector booster pack. This might be the time I give away a collector pack in this set. Let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, our opponent goes first here. We are playing 16 lands. We maybe should have done 15. We do have a ton of planes to start here, but we're going to keep it. We've got the infantry on 1, which I think is decent enough. We'll be able to go get another one on our 3rd turn, and then eventually we'll be able to play the Aerith Rescue Mission into the Cloud-bound Moogle. Moogle's Valor is interesting there. We'll just attack with our 1/1 and then pass our turn. So a little bit of a slow start here. Then Street Thief is not great, honestly. So now we can... Interesting. I think we're actually probably supposed to Magitech Infantry and then Slash of Light the Street Thief and then deal 2 points of damage to our opponent. And then next turn, we can play the Rescue Mission. Turn after, we can play either the Cloudbound Moogle or the Moogle's Valor. I will say, Kuja is a great draw. A really fantastic draw for our opponent there. So now our attacks are going to struggle. I do kind of wish that we had saved our removal spell. I do think we probably are supposed to just create 3 tokens. And then eventually our Moogle's Valor is going to feel insane. Combat Tutorial is pretty solid, so they make their wizard into a 1/2, so it's a good blocker here. I think a new plan is going to be just make a 3/4 with flying and hope that that's good here. That plus Moogle's Valor, we're going to make a bajillion Moogles. So we're going to continue making wizards. I do think we are interested in just playing out a Cloudbound Moogle and putting a 1/1 counter on that, so we can hopefully attack in the sky with a 3/4. Doesn't feel fantastic, but what do you expect in a mono white deck? It's not going to always be fantastic. I think they've got a removal spell here. Another combat tutorial is good, so our opponent is slowly but surely pinging us down here. They do also have a couple of 1/2s, which are going to block really quite nicely on this board. They do have a Sleep Magic, which is quite strong. And then our opponent is now going to turn their Kuja into a 4/6. So I think now we're going to play the White Auracite. We're going to take out the Kuja. I'm like tempted to take out the Sleep Magic, but I think doing this and then playing the White Mage's Staff makes some sense for us. So that next turn, the Moogle's Valor will be as strong as it possibly can be. And we're going to continue to hold off on attacking. We also next turn can go get 2 other Magitech Infantries, which would be kind of hilarious. We're probably going to run out of value here, though, just because we don't have like a big... oh, no! They get the Kuja back. Yeah, Suplex is so good there. So I'll get to make another wizard and then transform it. So we're probably just dead here. Yeah, that's tough. I do think they're probably going to attack us next turn. We're probably going to have to play out our Moogle's Valor defensively, but hopefully they like swing out and do something stupid here. They are not going to swing out, so I think we're just going to go and get another Magitech Infantry. Just an army of 2/1s, nothing to see here. Interesting. So I think we're going to play the Ambrosia Whiteheart. We're going to get back our Cloud-bound Moogle, if they don't counter it. They are going to counter it, which is quite bad. We're going to take 8 here. Yeah, we're just dead. If they have any other spell. Maybe they don't. So we'll continue to try and play for a second here. But our problem is that now our Mughals Valor, we can't play it. So we're kind of like, we need them to attack. Otherwise, we just slowly lose. Not slowly. If they cast a spell, they win. So they are going to attack with their Dragoon's Wyvern here, which is interesting. Ice Flan is also interesting. They'll tap down our Snow Villiers. Summon GF Ifrit is also pretty solid. I'm surprised they didn't want to discard their land and draw a card. And now we just lose, unfortunately, because, well, I guess we can attack with the 2-1 and gain a life back. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's get a life back so they can't just kill us with the Wyvern. And we are just going to lose it. We're going to act like we have nothing here, and then we're going to Mughals Valor on their turn. Hopefully they don't cast a spell, but I assume in 2 draws they can find 1 spell to cast. Swing out. I'm so annoyed they're not swinging with everything. Swing with the Ice Flan. Dang it. So we'll take 2 here. And then we are going to have to just play a sad Mughals Valor, unfortunately. We do make 8 1/2s with a lifelink, which is something that we could have done and that we are doing. Oh, this is tough. So I think we want to equip this. And then go to combat. We're going to attack with every single Mughal to gain some life back. Actually, who am I kidding? Let's just attack everywhere. We've got a Corel that can block. We'll gain some life back. And we're going to lose a lot of soldiers here. A lot of warriors. But I think the goal is just to get some life back and try and stabilize a little bit. We're fighting as hard as we can here. So we get our opponent down to 8. And then we'll play out our Coeurl and we'll pass to them. If they can cast a non-creature spell, we're in a tough spot. Laughing Mad, that will do it. That will do it. And we go down here in this first game. We fought as hard as we could. I mean, we're putting on a display here of just hilarious white cards. And our opponent had 3 colors, which kind of felt like cheating. And we go down. We are 0-1. All right, moving on into this next one. We go first. We're definitely keeping this. We can go infantry into infantry, which would feel pretty solid. We'll make 2 2-1s to start the game here. Hopefully our opponent has a slow start and we can try and catch them. Okay. You're Not Alone is not a bad draw. I do think we are interested in just playing out another Magitech infantry so that we can attack well next turn with our 2 2-1s. And no need to play the You're Not Alone right now. Dwarven Castle Guard is pretty good for just stopping our Magitech infantries. So I think now we have some decisions to make. So I do think we want to attack through this. And then we also are just going to go get another Magitech infantry on our opponent's turn. So this trade doesn't feel great for us because they get to make a 1-1 that still blocks our Magitech infantry pretty well. But we're going to go get another one on their turn, put it onto the battlefield, and then turn after we can play the Whiteheart Return of Plains and then play the Adalbert Steiner. Again, it doesn't feel great, but it is okay. Coeurl is fine. Looks like our opponent is stuck on 2 lands. So if there ever was a time that we were going to try and win a game of Magic, it would be right now. Slash of Light is interesting. So I do think we start by attacking. Well, let's do this. Let's play the Whiteheart. Let's return to Plains. Let's play the Plains. And so now we've got options as to what we can do depending on how they block here. So I think we're actually kind of okay with this trade. So we'll let that happen, and then we'll just play out an Adalbert Steiner, and then next turn we can go get our other Magitech Infantry out of our deck. And our Slash of Light is actually pretty good here. So our opponent's getting stuck with 2 planes in hand. Maybe they're also a mono white deck. We're stuck on 3, so this is definitely a game of Magic that is happening. There's their mountain. Alright, we're probably in trouble here, because they have all playable cards in their hand, no lands. Which means we might be in for a little bit of a doozy. They have a Freya Crescent, which is, and an Ambrosia Whiteheart. Both good cards. Good Magic cards. I doubt they're going to return anything to their hand. White Auracite is interesting. We can't do anything with it right now, but it is interesting. So I think now we probably just attack with the Whiteheart and the Steiner. These attacks don't feel fantastic, but we have to try and break through some way, somehow. So I think we're okay with this trade-off, and we will just trade our creatures for their creatures, and then we will go and get another Magitech Infantry on their turn. Look, doesn't feel amazing, but it's kind of all we can do. Otherwise, we're just going to slowly lose to them building out a board and using their Freya Crescent and doing things like that. So they are going to attack us here, which is interesting. I'm kind of tempted to block, but we're not going to. I want to think we don't have another Magitech Infantry, and then we can potentially attack next turn with 2/2/1s, depending on what they play here. Furion is good. Good Magic card. So that's really solid. It is a 3/3. I actually think we're going to go and get a land here because we are struggling to draw them. We only have planes, but we do not have plenty of them. And then here, I do think we're... Do we really want to attack with a You're Not Alone in hand? No. I think we have to just wait for a second. And if they have a job select equipment, we just get smoked here. So they are just going to attack us for 6 as it currently stands. I think we're fine taking 6. Okay, we'll take 6. What else you got? Okay, we'll go to our turn. I think we're fine with that. We get another White Auracite, which is interesting. I do think we will take out their Furion before combat so that we could potentially play a You're Not Alone if they have like an Ambrosia Whiteheart they're going to play. Okay, we will attack with our 2/2/1s. I'm not sure what our opponent has in their hand. Fate of the Suncrist is great. What's nice is we can, You're Not a... Oh no, that goes away when we go to blockers. Never mind, we just lose a 2/1 here. Perfect.
Stupid, I'm not going to let you get the chance.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, we're so toasted here. We will take 6 again, and then we'll attempt to do the White Auracite thing again next turn, but we are running low on gas here. Yeah, of course we get a planes now. We will White Auracite the Furion again. This also turn our infantry into a 2/1, and then I'm actually going to continue attacking like a psychopath here, just because I want to somehow try and surprise our opponent for lethal with the You're Not Alone eventually, which doesn't feel like it's anytime soon, but I think that's the only way we're going to be able to steal this game. Mughul's Valor will make 1/1/2, which is bad. They're going to White Auracite our White Auracite. Oh, which is tough. Yeah. Yeah, we probably just die like this. Coral Sword is good. So we lose. We go down. We are dead. Yeah, it does give it haste. I was correct. Yeah, we take exactly 8. We go down here. We're 0-2, and we're 1 loss away from giving away a collector booster pack. Hopefully we can get this thing turned around here. All right, we go first here, but this hand is bad. It just would be us with nothing until turn 5. I'm going to mulligan this. This we can try. We don't need an Iron Giant at all. I forgot that card was even in our deck. But now we can go Galacat or Snowvilliers into Galacat, which feels a little bit better, although still not fantastic. Magitech Infantry is good. We draw another land. We'll go with a Galacat here. Giat is fantastic. Wish we could have taken a couple of those in this draft. Discarding Laughing Mad is great. They do miss their land drop, which is bad for them. So we will get to attack with our 1-3 here. Our opponent is passing. This is huge. We're going to play a Cloudbound Moogle. We're going to put a counter onto the Galacat, and we are going to attack here. Alright, so we are going to play our Cloudbound Moogle. We're going to give our Galacat +1 counter, and we are going to attack for 5 here, and hopefully our opponent has nothing for us. They're terrified of our mono white deck. We get it done by pure skill and determination. We have a victory under our belt in the mono white deck. All right, jumping into this next one, our opponent goes first, but I will say this is as good as a hand as we can have. We're gonna play a Magitech Infantry on 1, an Adelbert Steiner on 2, and then we're probably just gonna go as wide as we can, get all of our Magic Infantries out there, and then play a Summon Choco Mog. So really cannot complain with the game plan here, and then eventually a Moogle's Valor as well. Our opponent is also in the Equipment red-white deck. They're going to attack with their 2-2. We are not going to be blocking that here. I do think now we will just pass the turn and then play or use our Magitech Infantry to get another Magitech Infantry. And I think we're fine just taking 3 here. We'll see what else our opponent has in store for us. Magitech Armor is pretty solid. Just a 4/4 on this board is pretty good. So we're going to go and we're going to get another Magitech Infantry. White Mage's Staff is certainly interesting. So I do think we're going to continue to just get more and more Magitech Infantries here. Just because if we play the White Aura Site, we can't do anything with that mana. If we go and get like the Magitech Armor, I'm going to think that we're okay blocking that here. Maybe they have a trick in hand or something that they're not afraid if we triple block it. Yeah, they're just going to attack everywhere, which does not feel fantastic. So maybe eventually, honestly, we'll play the Moogle's Valor defensively so we can pick off some of their things. I think we're okay taking 5 here for the moment, but we're going to consider just playing the Moogle's Valor next turn. We'll see what else they have here. Another Galacat is fine. So we are going to go get another Magitech Infantry. All the Magitech Infantries in the world. Adventurers In is interesting. It's going to get us some life back, which is notable. So I think we'll play that. We'll gain 2 life. We will Aura Sight the Magitech Armor, and then play a White Mage's Staff. And then we'll just play out our White Mage's Staff, and we will pass back to our opponent. It'll make our Adelbert Steiner into a 3-2 as well, which is decent. And we are not going to be attacking. And now next turn we can either play a aggressive Mughals Valor, or we could just play like a Chogo Mog and get our last Magitech Infantry and then Mughals Valor. So we'll have to time this just right. They're going to tap down our Adelbert Steiner here, which is fine. Magitech Infantry is great, so they can now go get another one, and their Gala Cats are now 3/3s, so they'll do 6 points of damage in the sky, which is quite good. Quite good. Yeah, that's tough. So now I do think we are supposed to start by attacking everywhere, and then we can Mughals Valor and You're Not Alone on the Adelbert Steiner. So I'm going to do that. We're going to swing all the way out. We'll get to make 5 1/2s, and then we can also You're Not Alone. I'm hoping they block somewhat here so we can like kill their things. So I do think we want to You're Not Alone the Steiner just for maximum life gain. If they had a Thunder Magic, that would have been tragic. But we'll gain 7 here and then get our opponent down to a respectable 12. And then the goal is that they just swing out on their turn to try and kill us. They'd be doing 12 points of damage to us. And then we'll try and get him on the crackback. Weapons vendor is fine. Okay, so we can Mughals Valor. I'm so glad they attacked with their Magitech Infantries, and we're going to try and pick those off. And then we'll gain some life back in the process. And then next turn, our Summon Choco Mog is going to kind of hit. Okay, we draw a land. We've got 10 attackers. They've got 4 blockers. So as it currently stands, we would have lethal. So I'm going to play the Choco Mog, and we're going to attempt to just attack everywhere. I'm now going to just attack everywhere. What's nice too is because we took out the Magitech Infantries, the Gala Cats also turned back into, shrunk into 1/3s. We'll gain some life back. And we get there! Okay, we get a genuine mono white deck win, which is huge. Absolutely huge. Now 2 and 3, we are fighting back with this very mediocre deck. Alright, we go first in this one. We're definitely keeping this. We've got the Infantries into an Adelbert Steiner and eventually a Cloud-bound Mughal. Definitely excited with this start. Hopefully we can try and surprise our opponent here. Alright, so we're going to get just an interesting draw. I do think we'll play the other Magitech Infantry to maximize our damage here. We'll attack with a 2/1. And then next turn, we can play the Adelbert Steiner and then the You're Not Alone to try and kill one of our opponent's things. They have an Adelbert Steiner, which is good. I don't think they're going to want to trade with us. So I'm actually going to attack everywhere to start. And then I'm just going to play out a Snowvilliers as a super respectable 3/3 with Vigilance. And then next turn, we can go Steiner into You're Not Alone. Or we can just get another Magitech Infantry and kind of boost our whole board that way. Ooh, double You're Not Alone is crazy. Crazy. So I think we start by attacking. So let's do that. And I think we're okay with going to damage and seeing what our opponent does first. I want them to tap out and play their spell. So their creature is going to get +1/+0 and first strike. So I think we will end up trying to save our Snowvilliers here. And then I don't really care about saving our Magitech infantry. They might sacrifice their Zach Fair to save their Adelbert Steiner. Yep. So they're going to get like 5 points of damage back. But we're just going to play our own Adelbert Steiner here. They are going to take 2. And then next turn we've still got the You're Not Alone up. White Orsite's great, so you can get our Snowvilliers off the battlefield, which is unfortunate for us. And they're going to attack us with a 5/3, which is good. Mughul's Valor is an interesting draw. We unfortunately are kind of out of gas at the moment. I do think we attack nowhere, and we'll start to kind of build our board up with the Magitech infantries. Potentially could play You're Not Alone and try and catch their Adelbert Steiner off guard. Gala Cat is pretty good. It's a 3/3. So I do think now we'll just kind of build the board with the infantries. Hopefully we can draw a couple of lands here to help us out. Orisite is good, but without a land it is not. So I do think we want to hit our land drop this turn. I realize they have a Gala Cat, which is bad for us. But I think hitting our land drop is super important. And so we are not going to be attacking. And then next turn we can potentially play our White Orisite into a You're Not Alone. Doesn't feel great. They're going to equip the Gala Cat here. We'll take 4. And it will be our turn. So, interesting decision time here. I think we actually probably play a defensive Mughul's Valor here. We'll make 4 1/2s, and then next turn we can try and You're Not Alone and gain some life back that way. And then eventually we can White Orisite the White Orisite and get our Snowvilliers back. I will say they're probably not going to be attacking with the Albert Steiner. So we are just going to take 4 here. But I kind of want to see what else they do. Yeah, I think we'll play the Mughul's Valor, and we'll make 4 1/2s. Aerith Rescue Mission is super interesting. So I think we start by playing that. I'm going to tap their creatures and then put a stun counter on the Gala Cat. And then we are going to swing out. This is 4, 5, 6. This is 14 damage as it stands. So yeah, let's just hit them for that. We're going to keep up the You're Not Alone still. We've got them down to 10. And then we can White Orisite next turn and take out maybe the Adelbert Steiner or maybe their White Orisite and then attack with the You're Not Alone in our back pocket. Gia is good, but not great. They do draw another card, though, which is really solid. I feel like they're getting pretty flooded out here. Yeah, Zidane is fantastic. So they're going to get to steal our Adelbert Steiner, and they're going to whack us here for 6, and then they're going to gain 7, because they have a equipment. So that's pretty good. Oh, they can sacrifice it because ours is a legendary. I didn't even think about that.
No! God, please, no! No!
I didn't realize that was a legendary legendary creature. Oh, that's a huge bummer. So we'll take 5 here. Yeah, that's really tough. Really, really tough. Iron Giant is so funny. I forgot we were playing that card. So now I do think we just attack everywhere. We're going to give one of the Mughals +4/+4 and deal some damage to our opponent that way. And then we're going to try to just kind of sneak up lethal on them. It's kind of the only way we can win. Yeah, so let's do that. And we'll put the +4/+4 on one of the Moogles. We are going to lose some stuff here, which is not going to feel fantastic. But we are also going to do some real damage to our opponent. And then we're going to White Auracite the Adelbert Steiner here. So they can't be getting that life back. And then next turn, if we draw an untapped land, we can play the Iron Giant, which actually would be okay. They're just going to attack us with the Galacat. They're afraid of what we're doing over here in our mono white deck. Slash of Light is really interesting. So I think we just continue to hold here. We could push through 2 points of damage, but I don't think that feels particularly strong. And so now we'll just go get another Magitech Infantry. We'll play our Slash of Light and try and thin out their board that way. Weapons Vendor is really good, so I just get to draw a card here. Yeah, that's probably going to do it. I will say the Iron Giant is relevant on this board. So I am going to get another Magitech Infantry, and then I think we are just going to take out the Galacat here. If they've got a protection spell, whatever. We can't really be playing around that at this stage in the game. Alright. They are not attacking us. A Grahatia is really interesting. Really, really interesting. So I think we actually are supposed to play that and then attack everywhere. Our opponent will take 3. They will get to eat a couple of things, which doesn't feel great. But we'll gain some life back. And we also will draw a card. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go for it. Make our opponent take 3 here if they have no other effects. And then we will draw a card. Ambrosia Whiteheart is great. They might return the White Auracite to their hand, which would be really interesting. This attack was probably dumb. Yeah, so we get our Snowvilliers back. But I like the fact that we can draw a card here. But they are going to get their Adelbert Steiner back as well and kind of get back in this thing. And they're only going to take 2 here, so they're down to 3. Yeah, this might be tough. This might be tough. Let's see what we draw. Ooh, a Galacat is super interesting. So we can play that next turn and potentially eventually play the Iron Giant. I mean, there's got to be lands in our deck somewhere, right? White Auracite's probably going to take out our White Auracite. Oh, it's taking out our Grahatia is interesting. Very interesting. Well, hopefully our Galacat can get the job done here. They attack us for 4. I think we're fine with that. Cloudbound Moogle is really interesting. So I think we just play that and we attempt to put a counter on that. We're going to pass to our opponent. And then hopefully 3 is enough in the sky. They might not have an answer for that. That's like a possibility of things that could happen. Come on, no removal spell. Let us have it. We've got a mono white deck. So I do think we're okay blocking the Giat just so we don't get some crazy like double haste magic pulled on us. And then hopefully this is enough. If they have a removal spell, I'm going to cry. Lionheart does not quite. Do they have another Lionheart? I don't like that they just did that. Oh my gosh, they can return the Lionheart. Oh my gosh, and they can kill our Cloudbound Moogle. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now this is interesting. I think we just play the Iron Giant, which we've been waiting to play the entire game. And then we want to thin out their board as much as we possibly can. So I am going to attack with the Snowvilliers. And then we'll probably just block the Giat with the Moogle here. Crystal Fragments is so good. So they're probably going to like super equip the Giat. And they are just going to make a 4/3 here. So they're going to prevent all damage done to creatures they control. And they also can give their Giat +2/+1. Which is good. I do think we're supposed to block. I also guarantee you now, after all those turns of not drawing land, we are due to draw a lot of lands. So we'll play our Galacat next turn, and we kind of run out of steam here. Them going double Lionheart was really cool. Summon Chocomog is interesting, to say the least. I think we play the Galacat here, and then we'll also play the Summon Chocomog. A 7/6 is just not doing much here, so they would just double block and take 1. I guess we're supposed to attack, though, and make them clear out their board. But I will say, eventually, they're going to lose the Summon Alexander. But they also are going to get to tap every creature we control. So yeah, we're supposed to attack with it. Yep, and we'll take it out with the 2 creatures. And then now Warrior Sword is an unreasonable draw. Unreasonable. So they can attack us with the Giat still and then not be dead on the crackback. I will say, if we had a deck that we drafted normally, we would be stomping these decks today. So putting everything on the Giat here, I do think we will block like this, although it's not going to matter in the long run, unfortunately. So I guess we have to just attack. They're going to block with their token. Yep, and we sadly, this is how it ends. This is how the run ends. We fought as hard as we could. Our deck was not great. And we sadly go down here to a Giat with all of the equipments on it. We fought hard. Our opponent had the answers in hand, and this is where our journey ends tonight. All right, so this is the deck that ends up going down. We were 2-3. We fought hard. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this challenge. Definitely made things difficult. If we could have played some of these other cards, I think it would have made this deck a lot better. Just even like these inclusions really make this deck look a lot stronger. But we played a mono white deck and we gave it all that we had. So based on today's challenge, I'm giving away 2 packs of Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy. Make sure to leave a comment down below if you want to be entered to win that. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time.